is saying, I need to raise up a group of worshipers. So when we ask people to come to the altar, when we ask people to get saved, we're asking you to be a worshiper. And the reason many of us don't have any direction is because of our ignorance and our impulse. We got an animal in us. And I know this is not just a young people's message that we talk about peer pressure and we talk about self-control, because there's some older people struggling with the same stuff. There's some old mules and some old horses that have some problems operating off of impulse. I think I feel my help coming on now. Operating off of impulse. We're impulsive. We do stuff and we don't even know why we do it. It's what David would call senseless. Anybody ever done some senseless stuff in your life? I know you've done some sinful stuff, but have you done some senseless stuff? It didn't even make sense in your own mind why you did it. All you can say is, I felt like it. And as soon as you did it, you felt bad about it. Have you ever went to a website that you knew to give God glory and you knew it was wrong and you looked over your shoulders and you prayed that Jesus didn't come back while you were on that site? That's senseless. Have you ever cussed somebody out and said, God, just give me enough time to get back to church and get it right? That's senseless. Have you ever been married to a wife that's beautiful, a wife that's supportive, and you went for a one-night stand for no reason, and she was ugly? She was nice and ugly, senseless. So now I can worship based on my revelation. Ignorant people have a hard time worshiping. Ignorant people are impulsive. So David has the same issue. He's the king of Israel. He seen God deliver him from the bear. He seen God deliver him from the lion. He seen God deliver him from Goliath. He seen God give him a wife. He seen God even give him a kingdom. And then he's looking over the balcony one day. Back then you could do polygamy. So you know he was tripping. He had multiple wives, and he still go look for a woman that is not his. He's impulsive. Some of us said, Pastor, I would surrender to the Lord, but I'm too impulsive. We'll trade it out and call it addiction. I got addiction in my life. That's why I can't surrender to God. But watch this. He rejects Saul. He rejects Saul for his disobedience. Because Saul tainted with his worship. So David understands or learns what it means to be a restricted king. He's not rejected, but he is restricted. And the reason he'll put the bid and the bridle on the horse is to keep him on path. Can I say this, maybe in a prophetic tone? Some of you thought it was the enemy that restricted you. God, why you ain't blessed me with this? And God, why you ain't do this for me? And God, why you shut this door? And God, why you ain't open this door? He says, listen. He says, because last time I opened the door, you got off course. He says, last time I made a way, you got off course. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to restrict you. That's what God always does when people, the first thing he did with Adam and Eve when they messed up, he said, now you got to relocate. I'm going to restrict you. When man messed up, he said, you ain't going to live forever now. I'm going to restrict you. He said, I'm not going to strive with man. You'll live 120. I'm going to restrict you. Because I got to put restrictions on you so you will stay on course. Can I say this? The Bible says this: the Father chastens who he loves. He corrects who he loves. He muzzles who he loves. Now, I've seen some animals before. I've seen some dogs. And so certain dogs, they're trained. Right? The master can walk with them without even a leash. Because they're trained. They're loyal. They're proving themselves. They're proven to be man's best friend. But then there are other dogs who are another story. Even though the master loves them, even though the master cares for them, the master is not going to let that dog walk around without a leash. Amen. Can I say this? Some things are not the devil beating you up. It's God restricting you so you can stay on course and make it to your glorious destination, as Psalm chapter 73 says. In fact, let me talk to somebody right now. The reason God had to cut some friends off from your life is because he had to restrict you. Because if that friend was still available, every time you get with that associate, every time you get with that relationship, it takes you off track. You know why God had to restrict you in some cases from getting that job? Because every time you get a promotion, you put more trust in that promotion than you put in me. And God says, I've got to restrict you. I'd rather you cry. I'd rather you have a bellyache. I'd rather you do all of that stuff and stay on course than go off course. Because I got plans for you. And see, I got my hand on your life. That's what it says in Psalm 73. Even though you're acting like a beast, even though you're acting like an animal, I still have my hand on your life.